So let's look for that last base. I don't know if there's any asteroids here. Not in this ring. Neferon is a barren, volcanic terrestrial world with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and krypton. Its surface is mainly composed of sodium with deposits of magnesium. Aside from displays of geological beauty, including many spectacular volcanoes, this barren world is of little interest. Entries related to Neferon in the astronomical database are sparse. Okay. Let's see. Well, we started this with Garrus and Liara. Let's finish it with them. They seem to do the trick at the other Cerberus bases, so why not here? Didn't I level up? Yes. Let's see, I want damping and basic armor. Liara gets first aid, Garrus gets damping. And already I spot some ore on the radar. This is a deposit of thorium. Let's see what else is here. An anomaly, an underground facility, and debris. Let's start with the anomaly. There we go. A mummified Solarian, whom I just drove over. Giving us a ID tag. Then the underground facility, which is the Cerberus base that we are after. I think we've been spotted.
Perimeter secured.
At least I didn't have turrets this time. Makes this slightly easier.
Understood.
Alright, let's make sure that Cerberus is done with whatever it is they're doing in these bases. Upgrades! Always nice. Let's check it out. This appears to be a different layout.
I've lost shield. Lost shield.
This is getting interesting. Soften them up with some overload. Or some sabotage. Which disables their weapons.
You must die! You must die!
This is rather a harder fight than the other bases, it seems. But we managed it. Picked up lots of stuff, of course. Medical Interface 7. Now that is what I like to see. It's a much more advanced version of the medical interface I was using. Giving me much improved health regeneration. Let's see. Something on the left that's interesting, so let's go to right first. I'm sure there's stuff to steal. The reason I do that is that in certain cases, I don't think that's true here, but sometimes you cannot go to the rest of the building after you finish the mission. Man, they have a lot of stuff here. So at least it was worth our time to come here. Another biotic amp, but I think that Liara is already using a better one, isn't she? Or she's using a Solaris amp. Yeah, we'll stick with that. Picked up a bunch of pistols though. Nothing worth switching. See, I said that near the further you got in the game, the easier it was to just pick up lots of stuff. This is the result of just the side quests. All this stuff that we did since Novaria, because I cleared out my inventory after Novaria. Let's see how much of this crap I picked up. No better armor? Nope. Incendiary round 7. I'll take those. And now, remember that I already bought a Spectre weapon, which is 250,000 credits. So by now you would definitely have the rich achievement. And imagine how much money you'll have after you sell all this stuff. Like I said, not hard to get a lot of money in this game. Let's see what's here. Something with a exclamation mark, but who knows what. Hopefully not another location of yet another base. You cautiously press a few buttons and an alarm chimes. The optical database is flashing itself. Quickly you copy as many files as you can to your heart suit's internal computer. Its memory wiped, the computer shuts down. The files are sure to be encrypted, but you've got the time to crack them. That might hopefully be useful at some point in the future. After all, we just took down a couple of research bases. Cerberus itself is not over with. And after what we've seen here and what we've heard about their Fresher Maw stuff on Aku's that they were apparently behind, as well as Kahoku's Marines, of course, I think we should try and take them down. They've definitely not earned any friends with any of this stuff here. What the hell? That was weird. We've got some debris to check out before we leave this planet. A crashed probe. Nothing unusual there. We did get an additional medical interface, but I'm already using a 7, so a 6 is not useful for me. I might be able to give it to a squad mate later on. Alright, that's it for this planet. Now there is one more assignment that I wish to do before we move on to Pharaohs. There's actually only one assignment that we have left, because all the others are collection assignments. This is a collection assignment, collection assignment, collection assignment, collection assignment. This one we've already finished, we just need to return to the Citadel. And this is a collection assignment, so all we have left is the Rogue VI on the moon. That means it's time to head to Earth.
Transmission coming in, Commander. I think you're gonna want to hear this one.
Greetings, Commander Shepard. I represent a party interested in obtaining information on Cerberus activities.
Who are you, and who do you represent?
Who I am is inconsequential. Suffice to say, I am an agent for the Shadow Broker. You see, Admiral Kahoku contacted my employer looking for information on the location of any Cerberus facilities. We provided that information on the promise that he would turn over copies of all files gathered from the Cerberus systems to us.
Did you have anything to do with Admiral Kahoku ending up dead?
We had no reason to harm him. He was going to provide us with information about Cerberus. Information that is now in your possession.
You must have some connection to Cerberus. How else could you tell Kahoku where to find them?
Information is our business, Commander. Through our contacts, we were able to determine that the Cerberus group was active in the Voyager cluster. Unfortunately, that was all we were able to find out. That is why we are so interested in acquiring copies of the files from you.
I don't think so. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Besides, his contract was with Kahoku, not with me.
These are classified Alliance files. I'm not handing them over to you.
Be reasonable, Commander. Cerberus was operating outside Alliance jurisdiction. You don't owe them any loyalty. The Alliance is just going to file this information away in some archive. No secret stays hidden forever. Eventually, someone somewhere will deliver it into our hands. Might as well be you. Transmit the files to us and you will be well compensated.
What are you going to do with this information?
Information is a commodity. It can be bought, sold, or traded. Why my employer desires this information is not my concern. I am only the buyer.
My loyalty is to the Alliance, not the Shadow Broker.
That is unfortunate, Commander. My employer will remember this the next time you need something from us.
Well, that's just too bad. Won't lose any sleep over that, to be honest. Anything else here? Samarium. Check for an asteroid in this belt. Doesn't appear to be one. At least not that I can find. And a League of One medallion. Next up, we are going back to the local cluster Sol system. Where we haven't been since the introduction of this game. Thoroughly saw Jupiter and Neptune at the window. Unfortunately, we cannot land on Earth. But we can look at all the planets, which is kind of neat. Mercury. A handful of solar power stations exist on peaks of eternal light at the north and south poles of Mercury. The difficulties imposed by the planet's proximity to the Sun and high orbital velocity have limited development. 340 people have the misfortune of having to live there. This is pretty much unreadable against this background. I really should have checked that. Venus. With its molten temperatures, sulfuric acid clouds and crushing carbon dioxide atmosphere, Venus has only a handful of aerostat research outposts. Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to live there. Earth. That sounds familiar. For detailed information, please refer to the Standard Issue Alliance Galactic Codex. Earth orbit is riddled with debris generated by bootstrap space development. Use of kinetic barriers is recommended at altitudes over 85 kilometers. Well, we pretty much have that problem now, so I can believe that they have that problem in the 22nd century. 11.4 billion people, apparently. That's not even all that bad of a growth, considering the last century. I'll read the other descriptions first before we head on to the moon. Mars. Once considered a prospect for terraforming and colonization, the discovery of faster-than-light travel turned Mars into a quiet backwater. Its southern pole is a historical preserve centered on the Prothean ruins found there. Immigration and development are restricted as the search for Prothean artifacts continues. 3.4 million people living on Mars, apparently. Does our actual asteroid belt have anything we can scan? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything you can survey in this solar system. Obviously, anything that would have been there has been surveyed already. Jupiter. Jupiter's deep gravity well and lethal radiation have kept its moons from being significantly exploited. The largest outpost is Binary Helix Corporation's Nautilus facility, attached to the underside of Europa's ice sheet. 9,100 people living on all its moons, nobody living on the planet itself, I assume, considering it's a gas giant. Saturn. Saturn has been a major source of helium-3 fuel for fusion plants since the 2150s. The moon of Titan is mined for hydrocarbons and used as a hostile environment training facility for Alliance Marines. The Huygens Dome is the capital, apparently. Uranus. After the development of Mass Effect FTL drive, distant Uranus was the target of a land rush to exploit its combination of plentiful helium-3 fuel and shallow, for a gas giant, gravity well. Today, Uranus is the largest producer of helium-3 in Alliance space. You may insert your own joke here. They get bonus point for putting the orientation of the rings correctly. Because this is north, and considering, based on the north and south poles, the rings are oriented vertically on Uranus, which is often depicted wrong. Putting them horizontally like Saturn's, but that's in fact not the case. Neptune. Though Neptune, like Uranus, has plentiful helium, its remoteness made it an unpromising target for mining before development of Mass Effect drive. With Uranus cheaper to exploit, it has never seen extensive development. The only permanent human presence is a small research facility on Triton. And finally, still a planet when this game was made, not anymore though, Pluto. Pluto is one of Sol's numerous ice dwarf worlds. It is mainly of note for being the gravitational anchor for the Prothean mass relay to Arcturus. Pluto and the Charon relay, formerly encased in ice and considered a moon, orbit each other. Pluto's orbit was circularized in 2157 as a side effect of the Charon mass relay recovery operations. Okay, that's interesting. That's why it appears as a circular orbit on this map. Also, it seems that Charon, its moon, was in fact a Mars relay. I'm fairly sure that's not actually true. Then Luna, aka the Moon. An early source of helium-3, Luna is now mined for materials used in space habitat construction. 24 major stations have been constructed at Earth's L4 and L5 Lagrange points, all from lunar resources. That's actually something that we are looking into doing in the real world, building space stations at the Earth-Moon Lagrange points. If we could do so, it would make any future lunar missions a lot cheaper. And that would serve as a good springboard for any future missions to Mars. But the way things are going, it'll probably be the Chinese who get there first. Okay, for this mission I want Tali and Ashley for the combat. Purely a tactical decision here. Tali's engineering strengths will be useful here, as will Ashley's combat strengths. Biotics are not as useful in this mission.